Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to my first endgame kind of base tour. So I'm obviously very late game as of right now. I am currently at chapter 9. So if you want to see what my base looked like before now, I have a base tour uploaded on this channel for about a year now. So to start this off, I just started replaying about a 2 weeks ago, and it was about a year worth of updates have happened. So I started playing. I've got currently 710 hours, and as of the at the base tour, I had 618. So it's about close to 100 more hours played. So, for context, when I last played, the Halite ingot was the last item, and now there is a considerable bit more, just a bit more stuff. But here we go. So the first thing I did when I updated was, and again, sorry about the lag. My computer is not very good, so you kind of have to bear with it. So the first thing I did was Stormcraft Essentia. I completely redid this. In the base tour, it was just a couple crucibles smelting the Ascension to jars with storage buses, and it was not the greatest. So in these, I have a bunch of partitioned 64K Essentia cells, like how you do in some other packs, maybe like DJ2. That's how you do it. So I have basically max of all of these essentials. And next important thing I did was I completely redid my mystical agriculture. Sorry. Um, so here I'm making all of these essences using these amazing hypergrowth insulators, where I can just stick a seed and input this hot spring water, and I basically just generate the stuff forever, very quickly. So here I'm using a mythic melter with so we can get it, these hot spring combs to get hot spring water. And for reference, this recipe is 10 times better than the regular melter. So if you're at this point, switch to the mythic melter ASAP because it's 10 times more efficient. So here I have some amount generating my fluid at a very fast rate, and I'm not, this is just fully stocked up and I'm not making any more. Basically the same for all of these. And for context, these are limited because in the new modular machinery update, you can now set the max stack size, so it doesn't automatically go to 2 billion of each item. And here I have my soul accumulator, which I'm currently making these items with. So I just needed these passive, which I'll show what for later. And this needs these specifically rammer head spawners. So I have a soul binder and a pirate spawner with rammer heads going back and forth and sticking them in this frame drawer, which then gets put into here with XNet. And it wasn't clear. I have all of this on a subnet where these storage cells get filled first, and anything that I wanted overflowed that I didn't want to have clog up stuff, I have put into this ME chest with a void storage cell. And you need to be very careful with these because if you do it incorrectly, you will delete everything that gets put into your ME system. So here, like I have all of these. There's like this canola. It first goes into here, and then it goes into here because I have this on a very low priority. And here I have my mainnet connection with the partitioned storage bus because this is much less laggy if it's partitioned. And I plan to set up these enchanted greenhouses for the thalmic fruit, but I'm pretty lazy. I don't want to do that. And I plan to use the Insanium recipe in these soul accumulators, but I haven't had a need to make that much Insanium yet. I imagine I will soon. Next up. So here I have completely revamped my deep mob learning setup. So in the base tour, I used to just have this hallway, and it just had the single block versions of the deep mob learning single blocks. So recently, the dev added these hostile computing unit multi-blocks, which makes an insane amount. So they can make just absurd amounts of these materials, and I am stocking all of these. So here I have yet again another subnet with 256k cells holding all of these items at once. And again with a void cell here. So any of the items that get filled will go here so they don't clog up anything else. So here's my big tower that I made. And I have, I believe, 52 of these. So that's 4 times 13, or 4 and 13 tall. And this was a little bit inspired by Nerdy Spider with these nice vines that I put all around this. And I thought this was really nice. And then these needed specifically they needed the Ender IO fluids, so this Vapor of Levity and the Cloud Seed as the input, so I have this passive here as well. And these need a lot of XP levels, but I don't really want to bring experience up here, so since I have so many levels and it's basically free, I can get just an obelisk and throw 2,000 levels in here, and it'll just be enough for forever. So I have this basically fully stocked, and I'm using XNet to control it. And here I have from earlier, these specifically need the regular cloud seed just to make these regular pristine matters, because you need these for crafting, like the Ascension factory cores. Here I have a new quantum condenser, passiving steel leaf singularities. So you need these for creative definition, where so these can use steel leaf as the input. So since this one you can make super mega fast, it's the obvious choice. So next, I have completely redone my bee area So I've basically moved all of them down to the bare essentials so far. So I have this, which makes temporal combs because I can't get them from anywhere else. I have honey smelter for here. And here are all the supporter bees making all the items for these monumentally sentient meatballs, which is needed for a couple different things in a late game. So, like this item. And so these bee multi-blocks, these are the Sacred Cinders apiaries. So I have customized all of these based on the bee. So here I have an Imperial Queen. So I thought, okay, it's pretty yellow. So I give it like these kind of yellow, this iron mine grass and these daylooms. And it outputs these into a subnet, which I have down here. So here I have it producing all these combs and again voiding into another void cell chest. And here are the storage buses. And if you didn't notice, I have this Vaja with a custom texture. I just recolored the original one, and the Vaja you can download now, but in the next pack update, you can get this. Get it to. And then another important thing. In the new update, very recently, you can finally put the 82 storage buses directly on these EMC links. But you need to make sure to partition these, so you can just hit this button. And you need to set it to extract only, or else if you put like a water bucket in, it'll go here and it might get deleted, which maybe if you want that or not. Another thing that I set up. So in the new update, the new updates after a while, this got reworked, so I had to rebuild this, which means I had to rebuild them in this area too. And I added these Stormlight infused crystals, which I think I just got a bunch of the Stormlight, and I'm just passiving it for whatever needs it. Here I'm currently using it for Garum gems, but I'm letting it stock in case I need it for any amount. And I'm still using the XNet controller. And a nice feature that was added is on XNet, you can now stock up 64 of these items and hit this count button, and it will use it like a limited item filter from Ender.io and stock 64 of these max. And you can hold shift and click to increase it, and control shift to decrease it, and right click to go backwards. And here I have a Whispering Fountain multi, which I finally started using, which needs this Whispering Starlight stuff. And again, I'm using XNet to control it with sensor channels to make sure I don't make more than 16,000 of this item. So I'm only enabling the extraction when I have below that amount, and it extracts from here. So I'm making these resplendent ingots, these resonating gems, and the star metal ore. And I'm not using this star metal ore for the stardust. I'm using it for this fluid infuser for tantalum chunks. And I switched over to a mythic processor melter because he added a starlight orb recipe for the liquid starlight, which is much faster than putting it in light wells, which was here before, which is much nicer because I'm sure you need tons of it in the later game. And another multi that got updated was these Dragonfire forges. This is what one of them used to look like. This was the old model from a couple updates ago. So this is the new ones. So I have these three on a subnet under here, which are all going to ME drives. So they only stock this much using Helios lumps, the chest bone and the bone recipes, and this Mana Stone Dust recipe. And here I have the on-demand crucible with just regular patterns here. So, another multi that got reworked was specifically the Infinity Furnace. This got changed completely. It's got this whole new design. It's got way more upgrades. So now you can say, so these faces are customizable. So you can put input hatches, but I decided to have this empty and put these casings, and I'm a really huge fan of that. I love the customization of it. And here I have a quantum condenser here. There used to be the Carbonite and Power here, but I removed it because it didn't really fit in. Because I really should have passived it. And here I have this processor clean room to on demand when I don't have enough logic processors. But this is really slow, but I unlock a better upgrade for it soon. Yeah. Another thing that got changed was, or no, this new passive setup. I have Ultimate Stew finally passive, or I have to passive all of these random items for just a single thing. So I have all of these different foods being made permanently. Even this crystallized obsidian being made here currently. Let's see. So what I plan to do in the future is I need to build these 4 multi-blocks for the Eyes of Gallifrey, because it needs all of these 4 special fluids to make these eyes. So, and these are all really huge. Yeah, imagine like 4 of these. Well, I need to make only 1. And I plan to make the 2-phase reactors soon, because I'm still using the giant reactors. I need to set up divinity combiners. I need to set up these recipes for the free garnets, preferably with this Imperial Diamond Powder recipe for the Shire. I will get to Gallifrey, which unlocks a bunch of stuff. It unlocks all of this, which I'll need in the future. Oh, I forgot this, which I did very recently. Sorry about the lag. I completely redid my corrupted aragonite recipe or setup with SFM4, which is amazing because it's super customizable. So I can tweak this however much. You don't need to do it this complicated, but this way lets you just do it, so it's very, very efficient. Currently, since I have it stocked, it's using 0.01 millisecond basically every tick, and that's not very often. It's at most 0.1 every 200 ticks, which is very slow. I believe so. Maybe every 41. So I'm using the meteoric faller to make these cosmic fragments, which then turn into, with the crystallizers, you can throw these in and you get all of these different types. So you have like dreadium, oxygen, and I'm just throwing them in the crystallizers, then throwing them back in here. Ooh, shoot. And then I'm throwing it into these packagers, which then go back here to this unpackager, which then gets auto inputted into this aragonite drawer. And one thing I just noticed I need to set up is these multis got completely reworked. So the chaotic condenser, since I have so much of this stocked up, I don't think I'll need to do it soon. But they turn from a big cube into this whole big thing now, which I'll have to set up in the future, which doesn't seem too bad. But yeah, that's it for this progression log. Thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoyed it. Bye bye.